When your flight touches down in a city like Aizawl, Shillong, the first lesson in civic sense begins before you even leave the airport. The air itself feels different, not just in its crispness, but in its tranquility. You step out into a world that moves at a gentler pace. The streets are notably clean, free from the casual litter that often carpets the sidewalks of many larger urban centers. There is an unmistakable order to the flow of people and vehicles. Voices are softer. Conversations are held without the need to shout over a cacophony of ambient noise. This initial encounter is a powerful one, suggesting a social contract that is quietly understood and widely respected by its citizens. This sense of calm is not born from strict enforcement or a visible police presence. Forming patient lines without jostling, without pushing, you notice it in the taxi drivers who wait their turn without a chorus of aggressive honking. The visual landscape is one of care. Public walls are largely unblemished by graffiti or careless stains. The environment feels like a shared space, a collective home that everyone has a stake in preserving. This first impression is profound. It tells you that you have arrived in a place where the public realm is not an anonymous battleground, but a respected extension of private life. The contrast with the arrival experience in many of India's bustling metropolises can be stark. Often, one is greeted by a sensory overload, a wall of sound, a surge of crowds, and a chaotic dance of traffic that seems to follow no discernible rules. The civic discipline in the Northeast is most clearly visible in the small, everyday routines of public life. Consider the simple act of driving, Kohima, Imphal. Drivers display a remarkable degree of lane discipline. They stay in their designated lanes, avoiding the erratic weaving that clogs arteries elsewhere. Honking is used sparingly, reserved for genuine warnings rather than impatience. When a pedestrian needs to cross, a driver may slow down and wave them across. This simple courtesy transforms the street into a cooperative space, making the daily commute safer and less stressful. This code of conduct extends beyond the roads. Queuing is another area where the difference is profound. Bus stop, shop counter. People naturally form a line and wait their turn. Pushing, shoving, attempts to jump the queue. There is little of that here. This respect for personal space and order is an unspoken rule. It reflects a fundamental belief that everyone's time is valuable and that fairness is a cornerstone of social interaction. This habit of patient waiting is not just about efficiency. It is a public display of mutual respect, a small but significant act of social grace that elevates daily life. There is a palpable sense of ownership over public spaces. Park bench, public tap, community hall. These are treated with the same care as one's own furniture. People do not casually discard food wrappers or deface property. This is not because they fear punishment, but because they see these amenities as part of their collective inheritance. To understand the roots of this civic sense, one must look to the social fabric of the Northeast. Many societies here are built around strong, close-knit communities. Family structures are often extensive. Ties between neighbors are integral to daily life. In villages and small towns, everyone knows everyone else. This intimacy creates informal accountability. Your actions are not anonymous, they reflect on your family and community. Interconnectedness fosters collective responsibility. The group's well-being is paramount. Individual behavior is tempered to maintain harmony. Respect for elders is foundational. Children are taught to defer to and learn from seniors. Respect extends beyond family to the wider community. Elders are custodians of tradition and wisdom. Their guidance is sought. This hierarchical, nurturing structure reinforces discipline, patience. The role of education in shaping civic behavior in the Northeast goes far beyond academic curricula, Schools in the region often place a strong and explicit emphasis on character development, moral values. Lessons are not solely focused on helping students achieve high marks in examinations. Instead, there is a holistic approach that seeks to mold responsible and considerate citizens. Teachers actively talk about the importance of honesty, humility, respect for others. These are not abstract concepts confined to a textbook. They are woven into the daily life of the school through stories, discussions, practical activities. This educational philosophy is manifested in the small but significant duties assigned to students. It's common for schools to have rosters for maintaining the school garden, ensuring campus grounds are free of litter. Students learn from a young age that they have a responsibility to care for their shared environment. These tasks are not seen as chores or punishments, but as a normal part of the educational process. By participating in the upkeep of their school, they internalize the habit of cleanliness and the principle of collective ownership. This hands-on experience is a powerful teacher, instilling a sense of pride and duty that extends beyond the school gates into the wider community. Parental involvement complements what is taught in schools. In a culture where community ties are strong, parents and teachers often work in close partnership. The values taught in the classroom are typically mirrored and reinforced at home. Children are expected to contribute to household duties, show respect to all members of the community, not just their immediate family. This consistency between home and school creates a powerful, unified message about the importance of good conduct. When a child hears the same lessons about respect and responsibility from their parents, the civic challenges faced by many of India's mainland cities are complex and cannot be attributed to a single cause. Sheer population density is a significant factor. When millions of people are packed into a limited space, public resources, roads, public resources, parks, public resources, public transport are placed under immense strain. This constant, intense competition for space can foster a more aggressive, individualistic mindset, where the instinct for survival sometimes overrides the impulse for courtesy. The feeling of being just one face in a faceless crowd can diminish the sense of personal accountability. This environment can also breed a sense of entitlement. In a highly competitive world, some may come to believe that they must push ahead of others to secure their share. This attitude manifests in various ways: cutting queues, honking incessantly in traffic, using public facilities without regard for the next person. Compounding this is the pervasive "not my problem" syndrome. When rules are widely flouted, following them can feel futile. This creates a vicious cycle where a lack of civic discipline becomes the accepted norm, making it harder for conscientious individuals to make a difference. Historical and administrative factors also play a role. In many parts of the country, the relationship between the citizen and the state has been a distant one. Public property is often seen as Sarkari, government-owned, an abstract entity for which no single individual feels a sense of ownership or responsibility. This psychological distance makes it easier for people to be indifferent to the upkeep of public spaces. The focus in mainstream education has also, for many decades, been overwhelmingly on academic achievement and securing professional employment, sometimes at the expense of instilling a broader sense of social responsibility and ethical conduct. It is crucial to approach this contrast without blame or generalization. The challenges of a megacity like Mumbai, the challenges of a megacity like Delhi are vastly different from those of a smaller town in Manipur or Nagaland. People in large cities are not inherently less considerate. They are often responding to a more stressful and anonymous environment. The breakdown in civic sense is not a moral failing of a particular group, but a systemic issue born from a confluence of demographic pressures, historical realities, a gradual erosion of community-centric values. The experience of the Northeast offers not a critique, but a hopeful and practical model for the rest of India. The lessons are simple and scalable. Civic sense begins with small, individual acts. A nationwide improvement doesn't need massive investment, it needs a shift in mindset. Teach children public manners from a very young age. Schools can introduce simple, non-graded duties, maintain a clean corner in class, tend to a small school garden. Praise a child for queuing patiently, praise them for throwing a wrapper in a bin. These can be more formative than an extra mark. Adults must lead by example. Children watch and replicate what they see. An adult who refrains from honking, respects a queue, or speaks politely to a service provider gives a powerful silent lesson to young people. Foster change at the neighborhood level. Simple, localized initiatives have big impact. Residents keeping their street clean, shopkeepers taking responsibility for the pavement. These pockets of order create a ripple effect. Public campaigns should be gentle and encouraging. Focus on positive outcomes, less stress, cleaner spaces, stronger community. Use simple pictorial instructions on lane discipline and waste segregation, promoted by local leaders and forums. The goal is voluntary adoption of better habits, not enforcing by fear. Small rewards and social recognition for clean neighborhoods go a long way. India is a mosaic. Each region can teach others. The Northeast shows how to live with dignity and mutual respect. Change is gradual, built one small act at a time. A driver who chooses not to honk, a citizen who picks up a piece of litter, a parent who teaches their child to say thank you.